Welcome back to the 2015 Spring Promotion Tournament for CLG and Curse Academy. A spot in the LCS all comes down to this final Game 5. I'm reeling that I even have to say that. Curse Academy initially surged ahead 2-0, but CLG has fought their way back decisively to even it up. And CLG now with so much momentum, and if we have a look back at that last game, that was a commanding victory. Yeah, well, it started in the top lane. Seraph had a fantastic early game, but then the bottom half of the map really got rolling. By 20 minutes, there was a 4,500 gold lead held by Afro and Double over Impactful and Bunny Fufu. And then Link in the mid lane just augmented that further with 1,400 gold in his favor. The bottom of the half of the map just went absolutely nuts by 20 minutes that game. It was ridiculous. And this is Seraph being a rock for his team as well, and we've seen Seraph be a little bit shaky as far as the split that we've just had is concerned. But this game, he was fantastic and really held Chris down. And that Maokai pick, so much priority, that was first picked, and didn't pay dividends for Curse Academy. Yeah, and to be fair to Seraph, he's had a lot of attention top lane. Exactly. Repetitive ganks from Sam Vicious coming through, and he's dealt with them the best I've seen so far. Holding onto his flash when he needs to, blowing it when he has to get out of there. Just playing the early game, particularly in the last two games, really solidly. Yeah, and it's just looking fantastic for CLG. And with the momentum as well, I totally agree with Skara here, because if they play anything like that, and I feel like they've found their team comp as well, no matter what picks they get, I feel like they've got enough ability to make this team comp work for them just to be able to pick it regardless of what the bans are. It's going to be so hard for Curse Academy. Yeah, definitely. The Protect the Double Lift comp has come back with a vengeance as we jump into Champion Select. I want to see the Janna ban. Where's the Janna ban? Bring it. We see the Counterlogic Gaming do take away Nunu one more time. Don't want Sam Vicious on that. Obviously, one of the OG Nunu players. Syndra being taken off the board, as well as Maokai this time from CLG. Yeah, Alistair is the only thing that hasn't been banned away just yet. I have a feeling CLG might take that one away next. See what does decide to be. CLG don't have to take it away. They can first pick that. If they get an Orianna Alistair combo, yeah, well, that's true. It's a whole different game plan on that direction. They have taken away Nidalee. Seraph, of course, a great Nidalee player. Yeah, played it before it was even at the pick ban must stage, so he's great with that. They are waiting for their last ban, and they haven't banned anything. Cho'Gath being banned out. Two bans thrown away. They've just left so many OPs off. Oh, no, it was Orianna. Yeah, Orianna. That is a bit of a change. Splash out, of course. That icon only just came in. Of course, Orianna changed for that a little bit. Not necessarily nerfed or picked, but Tristana, of course, has been left open. That's going to be locked in instantly, though. The answer of Zilean and Lulu. Curse Academy know what they want this game. More importantly, they know what they want to take away. Yeah. They don't want to give the hyper carry any more support. And so Chris, I think, was just so upset about being so held down by the Lulu last game. He's like, no, I'm picking this, picking it. It's happening. Yeah, getting himself back on more of a lane bully, looking to take over the lane from the early parts of the game. And this is where CLG need to show their veteran status. How do they respond in this Champion Select? Everything's on the line, and their team comp has been pulled apart, and they go with the Alistair as well as potentially picking away the Kha'Zix. They've done it. Saint's going to be on something else. Yep, Saint finally having to mix up his champion pool, and Saint Vicious locks in the Lee Sin. I haven't seen this for a long time, but I'm definitely excited. He looks a little bit worried, but I think he's got it. I think he's got it. Yeah, I used to love watching Saint play Lee Sin, an extremely aggressive Lee Sin play back in the past. It's just been a long time, you know. Dexter has played a lot of Kha'Zix and to mixed results. You can't say that his early game impact has been the same on that champion. However, they're three extremely strong pickups. Alistair Tristana lane is so can just go off if it gets ahead. If it gets behind, it's very hard to play as Alistair in lane from behind. However, the initiation into rocket jumps just set up such an aggressive level 2. That being said, I mean, CLG now need to think about whether they want to give Seraph the Alistair in the top lane, and because we know that Afro is fantastic on that champion, but it is going to be Seraph actually managing to get the last pick Rise as well. And wow, CLG's team comp is looking so scary. And they've got the perfect stall comp for late game parries as
Chris is playing Lee Sin potentially, or is it that going to be a top Hecarim?
Is that a mid Hecarim?
That is not a mid. Surely not.
Well, if you're going to bring out your sneaky plays, if you're going to bring out what's going to get you into the LCS that you've been trying, that you've been holding in the vault, you bring it out in a Game 5. And Hecarim? Keen, buddy, we know you haven't played that one yet in Oceania here or here in North America, but that guy's so good. Like, if that's what he wants to do, I have a feeling he's got something planned.
And wow, this is a analyst caster's nightmare. I don't even know how to break that pick down. It's into a long-range champion with so much wave clear as well, so
yeah.
Wow, I'm speechless.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. Is he going to be roaming around more? Of course, he has taken that Ghost, hasn't taken Flash at all. He just wants to make sure that he gets that synergy with the passive of Hecarim, of course. But wow. As we head into Game 5, do you see earning that spot in the do you see CLG earning that spot in the LCS? Please tweet your answers to @LOLEsports with the hashtag CLG win or CA win and let us know, because now that Hecarim's been picked, come on guys, surely we've got to be having a few more votes for Curse Academy, because that's just damn cool.
Well, I don't even know what their team comp does yet, so we're going to have to wait till we jump in the game and find out as well, and we're in there.
Yep. Finally onto the Rift, everyone, for Game 5 between CLG and Cursed Academy. I never thought I'd be saying that, and Keen with a well-deserved zoom in on that pretty horse. That horse is amazing.
The Rainbow Pony starting the boot, so
oh my
even a strange
goodness.
first item pickup. And I think this hinges on early game top lane. Does Chris get ahead and able to keep up with Seraph this time, or is Seraph going to once again get that CS advantage, look to drag Saint back to the top lane, and we've seen what happens if the bottom side of the map...
already with the dodge advantage. Oh, having a dance. I don't even know. This is ridiculous. Such a ballsy pickup though, and Keen able to dodge out of 2. That's 0 for 2.
Okay, this is going to be the quickest mid laner I think we've ever seen. With that Eon, as well as the speed up coming out of Zillion and Lulu, he's going to be able to close any distance, but what he does when he gets there, I don't know.
We shall see. Shall definitely see. We'll see whether they've got any plans in this early game, because you'd imagine the harass coming out from Link will be just so difficult for Keen to deal with early on in this matchup. And Zig's more than happy to play safe as well, so it's not necessarily a lane that St. Vicious is going to have an easy time ganking.
Okay, we see that once again, wards have gone onto both sides' red buffs. They will be starting the top side of the map. Once again, looks like standard lanes.
Yep, if you can call it that.
And wow, let's get into it. The minions have spawned. Jungler's going to pick up their own buffs. No funny stuff.
Yep, it's just exactly the same as what's been happening over and over again. Of course, it was almost a 100 gold advantage for CLG in the early game just then, but has since been evened out. And now let's see what this pony does. He runs at your face, apparently, everyone. That's what a rampaging pony does. And that rampage, actually, once it starts stacking up, does do considerable damage. It's just where the Keen
can get in range.
Yeah, exactly. But so far, this is looking pretty good for Keen. I think it's partly to do with the fact that Link has no idea what to do.
Yeah, exactly right. And we see in the bottom lane, it looks like it's going fairly even at this point. The wave looks like it is going in CLG's favor as well. Keen gets level 2 first, immediately takes a point in that E. Interesting to see what he maxes, whether he does go for the W for some sustain. Of course, that is a big mana drainer, or whether he sticks with the Q.
Rampage is often what you'd max normally on Hecarim, but you'd be in the jungle most of the time. So, see, Satchel Charge was picked up second here by Link, just to make sure that he can move this horse out of the way if he does come in. St. Vicious now onto his second buff. Both junglers here on the bottom side of the map. We'll see where the Dexter's focus is going to be in this bottom lane still. Of course, every time we've seen him on Kha'Zix, things haven't necessarily... Well, not every time. There was that one game against Dignitas that I think he was actually playing Kha'Zix in. Correct me if I'm wrong, but see whether he makes it work this time. Of course, his play style is what really has been changing in the last couple of games.
And a nice deep ward out of Saint. That's going to track Dexter's movements so well on this bottom side of the map.
Oh, there's the pulverize into an amazing exhaust as well. The flash from Dexter, impactful Impactful's going to go down. This is going to be first blood, and Dexter picks that one up. They force the gank, and it works out here for CLG.
And brilliant aggressive play once again from Afro, nearly reminiscent of that Janna play in the mid lane from last game.
Impactful didn't even use any summoner spells then.
Well, when you're going to die, why would you waste anything? He just goes down, and wow, advantage to the bot lane for once again CLG.
Afro now without a flash or an exhaust, so that could be a thing, but now St. Vicious and Keen, this might be part of their plan for this comp.
Yeah, looking to team up and put a gank on Link, but he sees them coming. Nothing coming of that.
Now with Satchel Charge available as well, it's pretty difficult just to run at a Ziggs. Chris now trying to get a little bit back here against Seraph, but getting the worst end of that deal by a lot. No mana as well. There's another Q auto attack, and yeah, he's going to have to go back to base. That's a teleport burned as well if he does make it back using that.
Well, he may as well walk, because what he was trying to do was shove that to the turret so he could go back to base, buy, and come back to an equal mid lane. But Seraph going aggressive like that ensures the lane will stay on his side of the map. There's more creeps up on his side. We saw that once again it's just frozen perfectly in front of that river, opening him up to any ganks that can come out of Kha'Zix.
Yep, so both top laners not going to use that teleport, sitting on that one for any potential engages that happen. And of course now CLG with the 76% vote, so it has come down just a little bit, I think, for the Heck Room. I like to think for the Heck Room because I think it's just awesome to see something different coming through into the meta. See whether Keen can make it work and let us know what it's for.
So we see the harass starting to go down on Impactful. He does have an early CS lead, although he has more minions on the field, so that's going to balance itself out. And of course the assist on Double Lift is going to be the good thing. Double Duran's on both AD carries, so looking for even more early game aggression. And Chris hasn't been ganked top lane, so I think that's the main thing. Even though it was frozen in Seraph's favor, nothing's come of it yet. Not heading up there. Dexter once again going back towards the bottom side of the map.
Now Keen either looking for an early Hex Drinker or perhaps an early set of Mercury's Treads. With what he does decide to go with there in the mid lane.
Yeah, I think with all the AP damage coming out of Link and of course Seraph, Hex Drinker would be a great first item pickup.
See whether that is the decision he's going to make. Of course, getting a bit of health back from that W, so that's pretty decent against this highly pokey lane. And so far he's managed to keep his farm relatively close. Like 5 CS the difference between a Hecarim and a Ziggs. That is not something you'd normally be expecting, and his wave clear is super efficient.
Yeah, he is maxing that Q, so that answers the first question, whether he would max Q or W. Wow, as there's some aggression
there's
once
the
again in the bottom
Pulverize
lane.
coming through as well. Impactful does have that speed up from Bunny Fufu, so as far as the disengage is concerned, they're doing okay. But it's always scary against the Tristana Alistair lane. I feel like that's been a strong lane since the conception of League of Legends.
Yeah, and Alistair just, in aggressive lanes, as I said, is so brutal. The amount of CC he brings, and then when he gets level 6, the turret dive threats that comes out, it's just a fantastic pickup, and it suits Afro move playstyle to a T. This is how they like to play their bottom lane. So aggressive, walking up to the creeps repetitively, and Impactful just can't get any of his poke through, but he is sticking relatively close still.
Yeah, this is not a similar game to last game when Double Lift just completely out-farmed. See whether Impactful can use that to his advantage, and we'll see what Dexter does. Of course, in the past has opted to evolve that W first, but...
So we are seeing the first game come out of Keen, and here it is.
Slot of Shadows is available. Seraph now getting taken down solo. There's the Rune Prison as well. Seraph in a lot of trouble. There's the ultimate. And Keen with some fancy noises coming from that skin. Oh, Mega Inferno Bomb, Chris! Oh, that flash, not enough! And Link answers the kill. Nicely played. Both mid laners picking something up for themselves. Nicely played.
The very edge of that Mega Inferno Bomb, just
I'd
clipping.
say just the tip, but it's a circle. So
just
really
clipping Chris. Able to pick up a return kill, and with teleport up on the side of Seraph, not much was lost for him. So completely happy. And all right,
it was actually the Mercury's Treads picked up with that home guard now available. Keen is very fast on this horse, able to canter into battle at any time he wants.
So maybe the idea is you just shove out your lane and then you gank your side lane with your ultimate. Ensure that you use that on
It's like
cooldown.
jungle Rammus tactics, something like that.
Yeah, you just go home guard boots first. He is looking to pick up the blue buff, jumping over the wall.
Yep. Definitely a pretty decent show pony. Is Keen able to launch across that wall? Curse Academy looking to consolidate, but we'll see whether this sort of, I guess, confusing pickup in the mid lane is enough to put CLG off, because so far they still have a 1300 gold.
Yeah, and this is the most evenly balanced we've seen the lane so far. As the Mexican stare-off is happening, wow.
Oh, Aphromoo actually taking a lot of damage from the culling here as well. Getting baited a little bit here. The relentless pursuit not quite up.
And the
Chris is teleported in, so just to get a flash from Aphromoo, that was a lot used. But Aphromoo taking the best route out of that one.
But it is the 9-minute mark, so they can potentially rotate this to a dragon, and Seraph's teleport isn't available, so that looks like what they will do.
Yeah, looking to get the early advantage. And then onto the dragon. So cute little maneuver. Keen now tanking this one up just a little bit. Satchel charge is there. Bouncing bomb not going to be enough. That's going to be taken by a resonating strike and a smite, of course, by Saint Vicious. Of course, Lee Sin very, very good holding on to those dragons. So first dragon going to Curse Academy, going to try to even up the gold just a little bit, so keeping it within 1,000. But Seraph, there's a lot of pressure in this top lane, and this Rise is actually ahead of the Lulu in farm, so not quite able to be the bully that he otherwise would be. And looks like Trinity Force going to be the first major item here picked up by King.
So he's going to be the quickest person on the map by far. As we see Dexter going in for a little bit of an invade.
Yeah, the W has actually been involved. There's actually everything used. Dexter going so deep, and the follow-up kill. Keen coming in with the onslaught of shadows. And wow, that Dragon Rage kick was fantastic.
That play from Saint was insane.
I didn't even really know what went on there.
Able to land the Sonic Wave, kick him into the turret, and resignating Sarait to him. Pick up a return kill for his mid laner. So important, because now Kane's 2-0-0. He does have a CS discrepancy, but what more do you expect from a melee mid laner?
That's true.
Certainly
especially
not
when
going
it's
horrible.
Hecarim. Like, no one sees Hecarim anywhere. I don't know, I've got to stop being so surprised. It's not really what I should be doing. Nice shield from Chris. Going to keep him out of a little bit of danger. Seraph tries to engage, but the shove continues. Chris just trying to keep some control here. Only 7 in the lead. There's a wave here for Seraph.
And it always seems like it's at this point the double lift just really takes off. Out of nowhere, he's got a 25 CS advantage. When you add the 12 on from Aphromoo as well, because he does have that item, as there might be a gank in the top lane coming through.
Yeah, Seraph playing back, trying to bait Chris in, and of course they know that Chris is going to be shoving this one through. Has checked the top brush. Oh, this is looking dangerous, Dexter. Is the face check going to happen? He's still waiting there. Patient bug.
Yeah, and this is what Dexter's known for. His patience in ganking a lane. He'll happily sit there. It's kind of what Amazing does from TSM as well. And he is really just showing how much he wants this gank. He's older and he's going in.
Yeah, gets the slow 50% now because he's evolved that W. There's the wild growth coming on Chris. We'll see whether this is going to be enough. They probably could have just two-shot that turret as well and really pushed Chris out of there, but not going to do so. Of course, Dexter not very tanky, just has that Lizard Elder and a longsword.
And Saint's looking for a little bit of an insect play on Link here. Wants to kick him out from underneath the turret.
Yeah, we'll see whether we can have the Onslaught of Shadows work out for this one. So Vicious is here, the heal's been popped as well. There's the Mega Inferno Bomb, gonna land onto 2 members, but Keen manages to pick up that kill. This horse is doing some work, but now he's got to try and escape. Seraph is teleported in. There's Zillion though with the ultimate, but double lift now. Finishes off Saint. Seraph's here. Keen's gonna fall down as well. Double kill for Rise. Seraph says that he wants some of the glory here, and Impactful didn't actually rotate around, but CLG so cohesive today, or in these last few games anyway.
The collapse coming through from CLG means that they go for a 3-1 trade. Impactful not rotating down, just opting to get some damage on the turret. Maybe, in retrospect, not the best move. Yeah. And getting 2 kills on Rise, who's already made it through the laning phase, is massive.
Yeah. Ridiculously well played in a situation that they didn't put themselves in as well. We saw last game, they were dictating the flow of the game really well, as, of course, the replay comes through.
So we see that Saint wants to get a little bit of an insect out of the turret, but he can't. They go very deep on this, and
that was so well played
like that too. With the teleport that comes in from Seraph, and then Aphromoo being here, just split focus, not being able to pick anything up, and we see Impactful's like, should I rotate over? Oh, it's just too late. The team fight's already gone in favor of CLG, and manages to pick up a turret in return, but 3 kills, especially with 2 on that Rise, as I said. That's huge.
Yeah, and it's also really important that they've showed us that they can do responsive play as well, because that was Curse Academy. that made that happen. And just really, really well played. And Link managing to get that flash at exactly the right time to stop the insect kick. And then healing, so he had the movement speed, and then not getting feared back out from under his turret just meant that Curse Academy was way too deep. So exceptional play from Link. He's really turned around his playstyle this series.
Yeah, he's played phenomenally in the last 3 games. And we see that 2-1-2 for Dexter. He's had a great game on Kha'Zix, so that's definitely a champion that he's more than happy to play, taking it away from Saint. Saint's had an okay showing so far on Lee Sin. However, he does look wow as we...
Oh, little bit of a miscommunication there on that one, but Link's still in a lot of trouble. Dexter's here though. There's the satchel charge. Dexter picks up the kill. Keen now getting followed up, and a little bit of a late teleport from Chris might mean a kill onto Dexter here. They do pick that up. And Keen, look at how huge that horse is. Maybe this might be a similar comp to what CLG were doing, but it's a giant horse instead of a giant Tristana.
So Keen actually does a surprising amount of damage. That's the first thing we have to say. Even without his ultimate, he chunked Link in that trade. Obviously a little bit of miscommunication. Dragon Rage kick coming out and knocking him away from that. In all that confusion, Sarah able to pick up the top lane turret, so equalizing the turrets at 1 apiece. And yeah, across the map, double lift and Link once again, the 2 linchpins for their team, picking up massive CS leads.
150. You have to admit that it's going to be easier for Link here on the Ziggs, and you have to throw it out to... Oh, I think we're going to show it again.
So we see here that straight away, as soon as that misses, the gank's already failed. The amount of damage that comes through from that ultimate, and then Dexter just gets his full combo on Saint, who hasn't been able to build very defensive yet. Chris, with a good teleport, gets a return kill. Able to pick that one up himself. Maybe with the red buff he can start trying to bully the lane, but laning phase is pretty much over as Afro goes really
Flash pulverize onto Impactful, has got the ultimate from Zillion there as well, so he's going to be okay. Mega Inferno Bomb actually used for not too much. Dexter gets kicked out of town by St. Vicious, doesn't want anything of that bug. And everything's going to be a-okay. A lot expended though for that particular engagement. They haven't managed to pick up that ward, so Curse Academy with full knowledge of this dragon, but it is going down so quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like they're going to look to push the mid lane in response to it. Keen wants to catch out the rotation, but has been pinged out, so maybe not much going to come of that. A free dragon picked up from CLG.
No damage on that outer turret either. Well played by CLG. 4,000 gold, now the lead for those guys. 7 kills to 4. Curse Academy really needs to make something happen in this Hecarim pick. Of course, that Trinity Force spike is going to be coming through very shortly, and that might be when they decide to look for a potential pick with that Onslaught of Shadows ultimate from Keen. Of course, that mass fear that this Force pickup does bring into a matchup.
And they have sent him into the free lane. And wow, thank God.
Just being caught. Force used that flash and the safeguard. Dexter using the ultimate. There's the flash. The Onslaught of Shadows, though. Look at Dexter take so much damage. Keen's not finished. He's on a rampage through CLG. Is he going to be able to do enough? Bunny Fufu is here. There's the flash. The bomb's on his head. Double kill. Wanders out of the Mega Inferno Bomb. 5-1-1 on this Hecarim. We now know why it's been picked up.
He does so much damage out of nowhere. As he picks up full speed, able to crash in there. The surprising burst that comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Trading a 2-for-1 kill where Saint was completely out of position. He's starting to get extremely
damage items. Once he's built his damage items, I mean, he's going to be so tanky with that W on as well in the middle of a fight.
As well as the Zillion and the Lulu coming through to just augment that even further.
Now we've got St. Vicious looking to build up that Hex Drinker next. Of course, wanting to nullify a lot of that double AP damage coming through. Impactful needing to act to his namesake a little bit more this game, I think, as well. Infinity Edge has been finished up here by Double Lift and Tristana as well. So 40 CS lead is going to translate. Oh, actually Zeal finished off at the same time. So that's even more strength added to this Chris.
Yeah, Hecarim. His counterpoint on the other team, the most fed player Keen from Curse Academy, has picked up his Trinity Force and double Longsword. So potentially looking for a Brutalizer into a Black
Ghost Blade?
Potentially a Ghost Blade.
Because that's even more movement speed, and we know that he's pretty into that movement speed.
I don't know.
I don't think we should even try and theory craft this. It's just Keen doing what he wants.
However, Now Seraph, he's got those Sorcerer's Boots built up. He's also got some armor, so he's going to start getting tanky in this matchup. Has had that Rod of Ages since about the 12-minute mark, I think, as Kane picks up the top turret, and he's gone into full split push mode. He's so quick, he can get into any team fight regardless.
And he can get out of any sticky situation as well. But bottom lane outer turret is going to go to double lift. So CLG are going to even the turrets here as well. So both teams with exactly the same turrets being taken. We'll see what the next point of call is, of course. Dragon, still a while until it comes up. Oh, just kind of be looking to make a play. Sonic Wave doesn't land, and I think that would have spelled the start of that fight. Keen takes about half his health, but W does a fair bit of work into trying to keep him back up. I think the Curse Academy need to do this, though. They need to be making plays.
Oh, they definitely do. They have. Whilst this is all going on, we must say that CLG has jumped out to a 3,000 gold lead by 20 minutes, so they're definitely in control of this game. As Afro takes damage, they're looking to engage this fight.
Yeah, Double Lift actually standing on that satchel charge so that he knows that he can't get engaged by Keen. That'll just go off whenever he does come over there. And we can see the outer turret in the mid lane already down to about a quarter health. And Keen behind the team, forever behind the team, but CLG rotating around. Look at that. He's out of there.
He's looking to complete the flank and get in on the back line of CLG and cause as much disruption as possible with that ultimate. They wanted to fight over this turret. Unfortunately, Sarah's push in the top lane means that they get it for free. They had to send Chris up there. And I feel Chris with the ultimate onto Keen is the combo that they're really looking for.
That's exactly right. So Chris moving up there, he's going to be able to clear this one out. And Curse Academy now looking to potentially do a counter push on this mid lane.
So 4,000 to go, exactly at 20 minutes into this game. Dragon up in about a minute and a half. CLG's gone back to shop. No team really has vision control over it, although Curse Academy, you must say, has a lot of vision control around the Baron area, particularly the entrances on that side of the river.
Well, I guess they do theoretically have two junglers. You can imagine if they are going to push that one through, they are going to be able to do that one relatively fast. But Keen now looking to go, as you said, full split push mode with this horse. Knows he can get away and knows the fights that he can pick. Of course, has already shown us that he can kill people on this horse.
Yeah, and he's built up the Brutalizer now, so he has some nice flat arm penetration to go with that. Double Lift, however, has finished the Static Shiv, so 2-item Tristana. He's in full late game mode with the red buff. Look for him to be the person on his team that does a lot of damage.
The horse meets the cow. It's the farmyard battle here in the bottom side of the map. I'm not going to have any of it. They respect one another. I haven't seen one of them fight in a paddock before. I can imagine that's not what's going to be going on. St. Vicious clearing out the wolves. Let's not talk about farm animals. Bunny Fufu heading back to base. So having a little bit of a lull. Afro pulverizing some creeps.
Yeah, both teams definitely waiting for this dragon fight.
Yeah.
Teleports are up. Chris is a little bit low on mana, so he's looking to shop before this goes through. And look at the battle for vision over the bottom half of the map. Both junglers trying to continue to clear out wards, looking for a route in. And with Dragon only 5 seconds away.
Well, Curse Academy might be looking to catch Seraph off as he tries to get around to this dragon, but takes the intelligent route. So Bouncing Bomb not going to find Keen. I don't think Link is quite used to the speed of the Pecker. Curse Academy getting zoned out of this one just a little bit. Without that outer turret, it is going to be a little bit more difficult for them to contest this dragon.
Wow,
Dex actually going very aggressive onto Saint. Does have the bomb on his head.
And Bunny taking a lot of incidental damage there from the evolved Void Sparks. And I mean, we have to mention the fact that Dexter has Mega Inferno Bomb, gonna take Bunny Fufu and St. Vicious almost out of this one, forced her back. That's gonna give CLG this dragon really well calculated. Link playing fantastically on this Ziggs. Not gonna get perturbed by the Hecker and pick up at all. Gonna keep his head straight into this game, and that Mega Inferno Bomb just gave them a dragon. Yeah, what an intelligent play. Burning the ultimate to secure an objective, making sure that they didn't even have to team fight against this comp. They're getting to a point where 5,000 gold in the lead. If they can sneak another 2,000 gold in the next couple of minutes, they might not even have to fight this team head on, because Double Lift is slowly going to scale up into the late game powerhouse we saw 2 games ago. And from there, he can just start wrecking again.
Not to mention Seraph on this rise as well, who's more than happy to scale. In fact, the entirety of CLG able to scale, and the desperation Baron play coming through. from Curse Academy, but there is, of course, a ward here.
And they've been spotted out. Dexter's there, although he might be caught.
Oh, Kane has popped the Ghost as well. Stops him from using the leap, but it's not going to be quite enough. The flash was available.
Ooh, and Chris taking a lot of return damage from that. Link is starting to do so much damage with that death cap now finished up. 1, 1, and 5. In the background, he's been having an extremely solid game.
Now we got Kane looking to finish off a Frozen Heart here as well. So now starting to build a bit beefy. Leaving the Brutalizer. I would have thought that he might have wanted to go for that Ghost Blade before finishing off the next item, but no. Just likes the flat armor penetration, and St. Vicious now going to try and heal up on these golems. And no more sneaky Barons going to be attempted, but nice vision actually along the river here for Curse Academy. They're more than happy to send Keen split pushing.
Yeah, and with 5-1 and 1, why would you not? He's picked up the majority of CS for his team, 224, although he's still only the 3rd highest in this game. Double Lift and Link leading the way in that regard. And I just can't see the way into the team fight. Without a massive teleport coming in from Lulu and a brilliant flank from Keen, it just looks like CLG are playing so controlled that they're not letting this comp come to fruition.
I think they're relying on Keen going incredibly fast into CLG and just seeing whether CLG can react to it quick enough and correctly. But they have a lot of answers. I mean, Aframu on this Alistar, just headbutt him right out of there.
Yeah, and there's the Rune Prison that can come through as well as the Satchel Charge. So yeah, so many answers for just a quick on-foot engage. That's why dashes are so popular in the current meta, of course. They're a little bit harder to stop coming through onto your team. Actually, a lot harder. And we see that Seraph is just continuing this split push. He's starting to get even beefier. He's got his Frozen Heart now, so he's a tanky rise at this point in the game, but Keen wants to fight him.
We'll see whether Seraph can use that Rune Prison to his advantage and try and kite Keen around. Look at the amount of damage, not quite enough magic resist. Hasn't even really got onto him yet, but Seraph now has found him. There's the Wild Growth. Seraph almost wants to 1v2, but Chris manages to pick up the kill. CLG now trying to answer, but Curse Academy doing a Baron while that all happened?
Yeah, seeing the whole of the team run across the map. They've completely sweeped out Baron. The teleports come through. This is going to be absolutely free for Curse Academy, and that makes up the gold difference straight away.
That play was so quick, knowing exactly what was happening. They're going to sacrifice the blue buff, but they don't care. They're going to hecker him. Does he even need blue? I don't even know.
We do see that they get a bottom turret back in response. Not much more coming from there, so you have to say Curse Academy got the better end of that trade, and now 5,000 gold. That's made up by Baron's stats at 26 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see whether Curse Academy can make it work for them, though, because it's now on them to capitalize on this Baron buff and really use the time that they've got it effectively. And so far, we can see CLG just pushing back, pushing out their waves, just assuming the defensive stance in the next few minutes.
Yeah, I don't know how, even with a Baron buff, can Curse Academy actually siege turrets, because Lucian is so short-ranged.
Yeah.
Of course, Chris does lend himself to turret pushing reasonably well with that glitter lance, but then you have Zeke on the other side. He can throw his bombs to the side lane, that Mega Inferno bomb. He can clear out the lane with, of course, that Hextech explosive minefield. So I don't, with such a short-range comp coming through and a Hecker on mid lane, it's going to be so difficult without a pick to
Big
start
picked up by Keen. Doing the jungle trade. St. Vicious is here as well. There's the Ghost actually being popped. Nice buster shot. Creates some distance there as well. Aframu has actually found 3 members of Curse Academy here, but does have that Unbreaking Will. So he's going to be okay. Curse Academy now all around this bottom lane inner turret.
And it looks like, wow, the ward placement from, it was Link or Dexter, that was brilliant. It scoped out the attack straight away.
And then the minefield as well, just going to stop anyone from coming in. The area control offered by Link is fantastic. Mega Inferno Bomb going to stop the split push in the mid lane as well. And Seraph is just going to keep on being that really slow tower pushing, split pushing.
And we spoke about it. How do they actually push waves into turrets? Because we saw the Mega Inferno Bomb come through. He's got enough cooldown reduction to do that maybe every 2 or 3 waves at the moment.
Yep.
And then just repelling the bottom lane push as well. Seraph pushes a whole wave into the top turret, picks up even more farm for himself. He's nearly got his Seraph's Embrace. So he's just going to scale into the late game so well. And you feel that the time bomb is now on for CLG. If they get to 35, 40 minutes into this game with Ziggs, with Tristana, with Ryze, they are just such a great late game scaling comp that it's going to be nigh impossible for Curse Academy to come away with it.
Especially with this almost experimental team comp that they've brought into it as well. And with Keen obviously wanting to try and get in amongst this fight, there are just too many ways of getting him back out again. Dragon is going to be started up here by Curse Academy. Nice work using the safeguard to draw the Dragon out.
But CLG have just played this so safely. They've got Baron and a good team fighting comp with Keen being able to dive in there. Why fight them? Just give it up. They've got the gold lead. They're not looking to capitalize on anything. Just let the Baron expire and then go back to pushing turrets with your hyper carries in Ziggs and Tristana.
Well, it's exactly what they're going to do. Of course, giving up that Dragon. Just a Dragon that they're going to get. They're going to be A-okay with that one. Of course, Keen continuing the split push here. CLG hanging around their mid lane, so not going to be able to answer to that one too quickly. This mid lane turret has taken a bit of damage, but a bit of damage on a mid lane turret as what you used your Baron buff for, it's not enough.
Definitely not capitalizing that far into this Baron. It still remains nearly a 5,000 gold lead at 30 minutes. And now we have the Seraphim Brace has been picked up. We see on the side of Keen, he has now finally finished that Ghost Blade. Lulu's kind of stuck between a couple of items right now. She's got a needlessly large rod. She has a Spectre Scale. She's picked up an Amplifying Tome.
That's a bit interesting. Oh, Keen actually launching himself into this fight, but gets pulverized up.
Wow.
There's the wild growth, and Keen just turns tail and runs, and this is what we were worried about. Curse Academy just not able to get into these fights.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit of miscommunication there. I don't necessarily think the wild growth was needed. Maybe thought that Keen was going to go in there. Of course, pulling up a little bit short.
Yep.
And
in fact, when he turns around, he should probably like rear a little bit as well. That'd be kind of cool. Anyway, CLG going to be pushing out this mid lane. You can see Curse Academy answering as well. So everyone's still... this is the deciding match in a best of 5. And whoever wins this gets into the North American LCS.
Trying to stop... Wow. Trying to stop Double Loose back there. Yep. Did manage to land it. And trying... Once again, they're just protecting this turret against everything.
Yep, Afro takes a little bit of a bomb for his trouble, but almost manages to triumphant row his health back up. Of course, support Zillion not going to offer too much damage. Keen back into split push mode.
Yeah, and once again, you feel like he's just trying to draw someone to another lane so he can rush in and pick up a nice kill. They're giving the blue buff over to Chris, so he's got cap CDR at the moment with those boots.
Yep, so he's going to be able to throw out those glitter lances as much as possible. Now, trying to do some work on this outer turret. If it's this hard to seed when they had the Baron advantage, of course, it has now worn off. Oh, nice scrying orb, going to spot out sitting in that brush. Not going to see Keen.
And this could be the engage they're looking for.
Oh, he's coming from behind. Has spotted Link though as well, and immediately gets knocked out of this one. There's all of the ultimates coming through. Keen's going to die, but no, it's going to be the ultimate coming through. Same mission. Look at Seraph's damage. That's ridiculous. Double lift. Now flashing forward. There's the chase. And Curse Academy used everything, the Onslaught of Shadows, but it just wasn't enough.
And Seraph's damage in that fight was huge, along with Link able to completely blow up Impactful. And this is going to lead to a turret on the other side of the map and a complete counter push. They could get the inhibitor turret here. I don't see how Curse Academy win this game.
Yeah, look at all of the damage coming through. Double Lift already has his Bloodthirster as well. This is definitely going to be inhibitor. This might be even more.
Yeah, we saw that last game they were willing to push through. Dexter is a little bit low, so willing to back off. Of course, 30 seconds till Baron. Don't want to give that one off. They'll be able to go through, set up some nice wards, maybe even get Dexter to back and just control the area with Ziggs. And wow, 7,000 gold. That's another 3,000 gold just chucked on top of the already 4,000 gold lead.
And we saw how CLG utilized the fact that they had this gold lead and never let up in their last game. They are really playing this game to the best of their abilities. And as you said, I don't see Curse Academy finding their way back into this one. I mean, I think they have passed their window for making their comp really work.
Yeah, and the transformation across this series has been fascinating to watch. From seeing Curse Academy dominate team fights to in this 5th game, CLG looked so good as well.
There's the Ghost Blade coming through. They want to try and take Dexter. There's the Onslaught of Shadows. He's going to go down. Bunny picks that up with a cleverly timed bomb as well. That's very difficult to do, by the way. To pick up a kill with that bomb, and it's Curse Academy thinking now that they have the opportunity to pick up this Baron. Mega Inferno Bomb does get damage onto 2 members. Impactful now down to half health. Going to be difficult. CLG do perturb them though, and look at this control around the jungle. Link using his abilities to stop the members of Curse Academy from getting through these choke points.
Link needs to be careful.
Oh, he's in a lot of trouble. That's actually charge on cooldown. He is going to flash over that wall, and Curse Academy trying to find their way in. Aphromoo now does get the pulverized through. They're going to see if they can get damage onto Chris. He wild growths himself. Aphromoo in front of everything. There's the ultimate coming from Bunny Fufu, but this is support. He's immediately going to drop. Keen's dead.
And that's a 4v5.
Oh, that's St. Vicious getting on by double lift of all people. He's got so much damage at this stage. And now he feels like he's in control. Chris might be caught out of position. Not going to land the glitter lance. St. Vicious now gets caught up. Not quite the damage he was looking for.
And this is the reset.
Oh, not quite enough. Double lift does get the explosive shot. There's the alley-oop. St. Vicious though, so close to dead. Bouncing bomb not going to be enough. There's the safeguard. That chase went forever.
And only a 1 kill there.
Yeah, what?
They chased for so long, but it will mean that they do have position on this Baron. Dexter's back up, sweeps it out. There's no wards there, and there are super minions in the base of Curse Academy. So this will be potentially 4-3. It looks like it will be. And back up to 10,000 gold in the favor of CLG.
Yeah, looking fantastic. So Curse Academy pick up the first Baron, but it's going to be CLG picking up the next one, of course, even on those neutral objectives, Baron and Dragon, as far as this is concerned. But kills going advantage of CLG, and just their ability to control the map and farm the lanes as well has just been so good.
And without that onslaught of shadows, we've seen that the Wombo combo just doesn't work. That was a 4v5. They just didn't have the ultimates available to get done what they needed to. They pick up a Constellation Dragon as well as a lot of farm bot lane, so able to pinch back maybe 2,000 gold for themselves, but at this point, it's just not enough.
It's looking to me like the circling of the drain may be coming through, but Curse Academy have known to teamfight incredibly well. We have seen it in the past that CLG can potentially throw these ones. Mega Inferno Bomb does come through, just try and clear out this wave. St. Vicious already down to half health. Curse Academy don't want any of this anymore. With the Baron on CLG, I think they just wanted to get them in that position, stop them from pressuring. But you can see, super minion wave heading into the mid lane.
Yeah, and that's why they definitely didn't want to fight. That super minion would have taken out a turret at least, and at this point in the game, trading one person for a super inhibitor turret isn't a bad thing. And so much farm in the top lane as well. Keen has been a little bit caught. He's going to be able to trot away.
Yeah, wouldn't chase that guy. He's going to get away. Just quietly do have Banshee's Veil and the Zhonya's Hourglass now finished up by Chris. So very defensive. He is feeling the pressure CLG is putting onto Curse Academy right now. And Keen trying to back again, but Dexter just does not want him to. And that actually didn't look like it slowed at all. He got his passive proc, but no, it doesn't slow him down.
But
no.
Dexter's starting to do a lot of damage now in this matchup, of course. Has picked up the range ones, but apart from that, all attack damage on the side of the CLG.
Last Whisper as well.
And wow, the culling doing absolutely nothing. This is a free turret.
Yeah, this is a 4-item Tristana as well. 4 damage item Tristana. Has the last Whisper in there as well now, so much damage to these turrets. Super fast horse trying to get a pick.
Yeah, and this is, I guess, do or die time for Curse Academy. If they lose the second inhibitor, they know this game's nearly impossible to come back from, but one team fight could just mean the end of the series. That's why they're looking so careful, but once again, looking for the flank.
Yeah, controlling vision so well as well is CLG, and they're staying together as a unit. This is exactly what they weren't doing and Curse Academy were doing in the first couple of games. Staying together, moving cohesively, and you can see this. They're going to just walk into Curse Academy's base. They've been completely out-rotated.
Yeah, it does look like they're waiting for the fight, though. They've squashed them against the base and the big horse, so maybe this is what they're looking for.
But Inhibitor's gone down. They can just rotate over to the mid lane. Surely. Aphromoo's now found his way in amongst all of Curse Academy, but they don't want any part of this at all. Link is going to be able to take down Impactful. Chris gets ultimated up by Bunny Fufu, but Keen's going to go down. Chris now gets the ult pop. That's everyone dead. The triple kill now for Link. Is he going to be able to potentially do what Doublelift did? But no, Doublelift wants some of this glory. And this is going to be the game for CLG. They make it back into the the North American LCS with a 3-game streak, being down 2 games to begin with. This is a success story they were looking for. They've proved that they can come back. GG. Oh my God.
What a matchup. CLG able to turn it around and do the seemingly impossible, coming back from 2 games down. And that last composition from Curse Academy, interesting, seemed to have some mid-game effectiveness, but just in the end, Link and Doublelift, too big, able to carry their team to victory.
And I think this is almost better for CLG. The fact that this went to 5 games, the fact that they had to come back from such a deficit shows so much mental fortitude. And that is what a lot of people were criticizing them on. And they have proved far and away that that is not a problem. To come back from being 2 games down and still take the series, so impressive.
Yeah, they've definitely earned their spot back in the LCS.
Oh,
and wow, the changes that have gone through. Zuna pulling them back on some of their more comfortable picks.
Yeah, damn.
You have to say it's working.
And Dexter as well. He picked up Elise, Lee Sin, Elise. Oh, Kha'Zix. So he's just looking so much stronger on these picks with so much early game control, everything like that. I just feel like CLG have looked rejuvenated in this particular matchup.
Yeah, definitely. But you have to say, on the other side of the rift, very well played to Curse Academy. They came out as definite underdogs, able to pick up 2 wins in the start of it. Their team fighting looked amazing, so don't take anything away from those guys.
No.
They'll be in the promotion tournament.
Not to yeah, exactly. So this isn't their last chance to get into the split, of course. And Keen was phenomenal in the first 2 games. He picked up the horse in the second game. What more can you ask for? A Hecarim in the mid lane. I don't even. And Bonnie Fufu as well needs another honorable mention. I'm going to probably mention that play forever, flaying out of everything. And oh my goodness, so incredibly strong. But that series was heart-wrenching. And we almost had a CLG-less LCS.
Yeah, what a great best of 5. And if there's a way to earn your way back into the LCS, so that's what you want to do. Sticking together as a team, that's definitely silenced some doubters out there and showing, as Scar said, their mental fortitude was questioned repetitively. And the infrastructure around the team was questioned. And the way that they came back in a best of 5 series just shows that all of those things have finally started to come together. Their team fight and early game map presence was back to what it looked like at the start of the spring split.
Yeah.
Like a rejuvenated, revitalized CLG.
That is so true. And people were also thinking that perhaps that trip to Korea was going to pay dividends further down the line. Not necessarily straight up, and maybe it's starting to kick in. So it's not like we're bad-mouthing Monte Cristo's decisions or anything like that, because it might just be that. The fact that they learnt so much while they were over there, they've now finally processed it, and they can move into the next split and be stronger than ever. But that last game was heart-wrenching.
Yeah, that whole series was just so back and forth. And you really saw the difference in playstyles and the ability for them to adapt and move through. Very well played.
That is so, so true. But let's head over now to Dash, who is standing by with 2 players from the victorious CLG.
Thank you, Atlas. I'm here with Doublelift and Afromoo. After a pretty grueling 5-game series there, it has to feel good, though, to come out on top with that comeback and make it back into the NALCS.
We finally won, guys.
We did it. We were on like an 18-lose streak or something like that. It was horrible.
Well, the streak is broken. So, again, as I said, it must be a relief. But talk to me about the 0-2 start and the changes that were made to come back 3 games in a row. Afromoo?
Well, we went down 0-2, trying to run our Jester strat. I don't even know what we were doing, picking all these random champions. You know, they didn't really work out. First game, we ran Leona. And second game, we run some Vayne, and it didn't really work out. You know, our champions didn't work out, even though we planned it. So we were just like, all right, let's pick the OP stuff that they play so that we take it away from them. And we just ran our Death Ball comp on Peter and just shielded him up, and he carried us.
Yeah, I was going to say, Doublelift, in the feature that we had on you, you were talking about how that was the playstyle that you always had and how at one point in time it was possible for one person to carry the team. And then today, Game 3, you come out and you do exactly that. So do you think it is still possible, if you do funnel things correctly, that one person can really carry the game?
I think Tristana's the best AD carry in the game. So if you get Trist and you can get to 30 minutes, because like the threshold for Trist is 3 items. If you fight before 3 items, before you get your Bloodthirster, you can get poked down. You don't do as much damage, and you're just not strong. But as soon as you group 3 items on Trist and you have a bunch of shields for her, she's probably the most broken AD carry in the game.
And one other point real quick about the comeback from 0-2. Mental fortitude, right? A lot of criticism of CLG is that you guys are an emotional team, that wins can tilt you easily, things like that. So obviously this must have tested your mental fortitude.
Yeah, like, well, most of us are pretty like battle hardened, I think. But it does kind of wear on you when you're losing and you think, wow, if they win one more, then blank happens. So last time it was like, oh, we don't make worlds, and this time it's like, oh, we get relegated or like out of LCS. So it does kind of wear on you, but I think we're kind of used to it. So we were down for quite a while, and we got used to kind of coming back and clawing our way back up. So I think we're actually really good. And we got Zuna in the house, or Zuna with us now, an old player, really experienced, and he really hypes us up and helps us out.
I was about to ask. I know it's a long way off. We're looking at 2015 now. Having Zuna with you, has there been any discussion about what the major factors are, the major things you're going to be looking at to fix, remedy, work on, prior to other things?
No, not really. We just had to, after we realized we were going to go into relegations and lost to Dignitas, it was just like, okay, don't worry about the future. We have to focus on right now to make sure we don't get kicked out.
And then what about more immediately? Plans for vacation, you guys going anywhere to watch Worlds, things like that?
Well, I'm going to be on the desk, so you guys will see a lot of me soon.
All right, can't wait for that.
I don't know about after, though. What's up?
Me, I'm going on vacation, baby.
Yeah?
I'll miss you.
We got to separate the two of you for at least a little bit. Now let's look at the rest of the promotion tournament. I just want to get your thoughts as people who know the NA scene well. Obviously, we've got EG versus Coast tomorrow, Complexity versus Teammate the following day. Thoughts on those matchups? Who are we going to see walk away with the wins?
I think definitely Teammate has the upper hand. For EG versus Team Coast, we've scrimmed extensively with EG, and I think it's probably like an 80-20 matchup. Ours was supposedly supposed to be like a pretty slided matchup for us, but we made it look really close by playing horrible. But I have faith in EG. Those guys got a lot better. Like especially like towards the last weeks of the split, I think they were undefeated in Super Week, and they're just looking really good. So it's kind of a misrepresentation of them for them to be 7th place playing against Coast. But definitely Teammate is really cheesy and really crazy. You don't know what to expect from that match. So that's a 50-50.
Any thoughts to add there, Afram, or is that pretty much covered?
Well, Teammate was first for the Challenger Series, I think. Yeah, they came in first place. So we didn't want to pick them because they have the best chance at beating an LCS team, in my eyes. So I think Complexity versus Teammate will be really close, but EG versus Coast will be one-sided for EG.
All right. And then one final thing here. It's been a long year, a long 2014 season. I want to give you guys the opportunity to say whatever you'd like to your fans, to the viewers at home. Doublelift?
Well, we have a lot of fans, and we disappoint a good part of them. So I'm sorry if you're a CLG fan, it really sucks. And we always come up with the new year. We're like, yeah, it's a new year. Like, it's the new dawn of a new era for CLG. But maybe we can just put the work in this time and just be more transparent and just try to give back to our fans, because I know we have a lot of them, and we're slowly losing them because we're losing in LCS, and it really sucks. But I'll try super hard next year for you guys.
I love you guys. I'm going to stream.
There it is.
Nice, on vacation.
All right, so there will still be plenty of fan interaction during the off-season, so they won't be having any CLG withdrawal, I guess you could say.
Indubitably.
Yeah. Fantastic. Well, now we're going to send things back over to Atlas and Spawn for a look at what's ahead.
Thank you, Dash. CLG has earned themselves a return to the North American LCS for the 2015 Spring Split, and they'll rejoin the 5 other teams who will already be coming back. That series concludes our first day of the 2015 Spring Promotion Tournament, but there's a lot left to come this week. Tomorrow, Gambit Gaming and SK Gaming Prime will face off in our first series of the day.
And then Evil Geniuses take on Team Coast in the second best of 5.
And that all starts on Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Central European Summer Time. I'd like to thank Skyronic Special for joining us on the analysis desk today. And now for myself, Spawn, Freak, Zyrene, Dash, and the entire broadcast team, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Boom. Look at that.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Spring Championship Series Promotion Tournament. We have the Copenhagen Wolves versus H2K Gaming. Goldie comes in, Trashy jumps up, Vivid goes down, Heal doesn't come out in time. Another kill for Woolite there, double for him, finds Soren. No, he gets away. Nice. Good job, guys. Good. Oh, look at that with a knockback into the turret. There's the root as well. What a good play by the Copenhagen Wolves.
This game is solo, let's go.
This is like the last chance. You can like unleash everything there.
Odromna is exhausted. That's actually pretty good for H2K. Trashy goes in. Airbox will fall. They've traded 1 for 1 so far. Welcome back to the LCS Copenhagen Wolves.
But now, our next matchup between Counterlogic Gaming and Curse Academy. Yeah, Bunny Fufu gets caught there. We've got everything being blown, but look at the turnaround for Curse Academy. All of that damage impactful got here at exactly the right time. Curse Academy taking game 1.
Whatever you were doing when we were practicing, just do it. Don't even hesitate.
The fight is now on. This Glacial Fissure doing so well. Two-man Shockwave in the backline. That's going to be the ultimate onto Double Lift, but he's actually going to die straight afterwards. Seraph now as well.
One more game, guys, in LCS.
He lands the rush for vision. That's a first grade bit. The flay, and then the predicted flash that comes out of the death sentence. Oh my god.
Goodness. Double Lift is jumping all around this fight. Is he going to be able to pick up more? The flash, the triple kill. Is Chris going to go down? No, yes, the quadra kill. CLG come back in the third game. They've wasted everything on Double Lift. He's still on half health. CLG's here. Lynx on the other side. 3-ball. Shockwave. The dissonance destroying the AD carry. CLG are bringing it to 2 games apiece. And now anything could happen.
They don't even know they ain't ready for it.
Is that a mid-hacker?
Surely not.
We've been holding this pick for game 5.
Dexter using the ultimate. There's the flash. The onslaught of Shadow Zone. Look at Dexter take so much damage. Keen's not finished. He's on a rampage through CLG. Chris gets ultimated up by Bunny Fufu, but Keen's going to go down. Chris now gets the old pop. That's everyone dead. And this is going to be the game for CLG. They make it back into the North American LCS. This is a success story they were looking for. GG.